I couldn't skip UAG either. This year, with the Civilian, the Monarch, the Plyo Pro, Pathfinder, Metropolis LT, and a new one called the Plasma XTE. Now, if you know me, we're checking out the new one first. The body of the case is pretty much identical to the Monarch. A few differences here and there, but it's all mostly design. The slimmed down sides are better on the Monarch though, since the area that's slimmed down on the Plasma is very small, making the Monarch easier to grab. Even though the ring design on the back looks as if it features MagSafe, it's not a MagSafe case. But they kept the design because it's primarily designed for the iPhone. It looks cool, but I think it's a bit disappointing that brands keep recycling this. I mean, the mold has to be different anyway, so why not design something different? The camera bump does look very cool and unique, and on that part they weren't lazy at all. Oh, and by the way, the ring on the back is one of those kickstand rings, and a good one at that. It has that magnetic closing feel, yet no magnets are present. Just a good hinge. I like that orange detail on there too, and I've always been a fan of that. I also love the fact that the sides sort of move over to the backplate too. Very unique design. On the clear backplate, which feels like a grippy clear case, you will also find a hexagon pattern from the sides and sort of fade out towards the middle. Awesome work. These tiny details really make UAG stand out. A very comfortable case too. Definitely bulky, but that's to be expected with UAG. Easy to install and easy to remove from the phone too, with a snug fit and not loose at all. The volume buttons are a tiny bit harder to press, but the power button is just as clicky as it should be. And I think the design on the buttons is also great. Big and with the right pattern. Perfect fit on the front too, and no weird asymmetrical front edges visible. And I think this one especially is very solid. Good work, UAG. Then one of my go-to cases, the Plyo. Now why it's called Pro this year? I don't know. Probably due to the MagSafe at the back. The S Pen will work just fine with nothing attached, but with something attached, you will see interference here where the magnet ring is, which is nothing out of the ordinary. The case feels just as grippy as always. The fit is definitely on the tighter end this year though, and not impossible to remove, but requires a little more effort. The buttons are not as clicky though, and that's funny because it used to be. At the power button, it's almost laughably bad. It's almost as if you're using a touch button. Very odd. Still awesome protection though, and I'm still a big fan of this case as well. But like all clear cases with a soft or semi-soft edge, there is a chance of yellowing. Now I've been hating on the changes made to the Civilian too, because it used to be my absolute favorite case. And that's exactly my relationship with UAG too. The hate is more like feedback, because I want my OG UAG cases back. And they've listened to me it seems, because the Civilian is made from that same softer feeling material like before, not the plasticky detour they've made a while back. And this is very good news. And to me, it means the Civilian is back. The buttons are very clicky too, and are nicely done. The orange details with that green go very nicely still, and if it weren't for the fact that I use a magnetic car holder all of the time, this one would be my go-to now. I also think that the two-layered camera bump looks awesome, and it will most definitely protect your camera. The front bezel swells up at the top and bottom, but is nicely protected from the sides as well, even though lower. The fit is excellent, easy to use, and a snug fit here too. My only feedback here would be to make the S Pen cutout a little bigger for easy access. Not that it's hard to grab right now, but it could be a lot easier. More than enough room on all of these cases for the USB-C cutouts by the way, so for either of these, no worries. Most third-party USB-Cs will work perfectly fine here. Then the Metropolis LT. Compared to the ones we've seen so far, this one feels a lot slimmer. And I think it looks very good as well. I love the overall hexagon trend here too. On the sides, it has that slimmed down part as well, which make it very easy to find the buttons without looking. The buttons, even though clicky, are a little harder to press. But the power button is very easy to press. Funny, because we've just seen the opposite with the Plyo, just to make things interesting. And where I complained about the S Pen cutout, here it's also different again. It also features a strong MagSafe without interference, but once you put a MagSafe accessory on there, the interference is back. This case is also a good choice if you want a slight rounded feel instead of the mostly blocky shapes UAG features. It has a good fit, but the case itself is pretty flexible compared to the other ones, which are all strong. The Monarch is once again a very good case too, without MagSafe this time, but like the XTE with the same design. It also looks very good, especially with these edges in the backplate and the carbon fiber design in between it. I also like the screws on there, it makes it look tough. Now, while you wouldn't see it on the outside, on the inside they're at least upfront about it. Compared to the XTE Plasma though, the buttons are actually smaller, and I prefer thicker buttons here because it's not like the Monarch is a slim case at all, so you have to go all in. The Monarch has very clicky volume buttons and a good power button, and not harder to press with this one. The slim down portion is a lot bigger here, which makes for an excellent grip, and one that already is very comfortable and grippy. I only wish they made the bottom a little softer, since now it's a little sharp here and there, especially where the USB-C port is at, and sadly, that's exactly where your pinky finger supports the case. As far as the fit goes, this one is awesome. It seems all of the front bezels are equal here on the UAG lineup because I have nothing new to say. It does have tiny feet on the back to reduce wobble, since the MagSafe ring design is a little higher than the backplate. Good thinking. Now, if you have the Pathfinder in your hands after using the Monarch, you will feel the difference right away. It feels slimmer. The buttons here get the award for the best UAG buttons because they are all clicky and easy to find. I even think they made the sides a softer feeling material here, like the story on the Civilian, because I recall them being plasticky on the iPhone as well, so you know what that means. The Pathfinder is back too. Awesome news. The stripes on the side now actually do something, because on a plasticky material, they were just designed in my opinion. To give you an idea, they use the same material on the Samsung Shield case, which is just not grippy enough and feels cheapish. To make things even less consistent than they already were, MagSafe is present, but not the same strength as the others. Weak in comparison, but overall, not bad. Usable still. I've seen worse with UAG. The slim down backplate elements are back too, and this time I've chosen a camo to complement them. Design wise, I always love them, but it's good to see they changed fundamental aspects here and there, so my work isn't for nothing. Now, if you would like to see what your other options are for the S24 Ultra, make sure you watch this video too, and I'll hope to see you there.